Hello, I'm Alejandro Pujalte, and this is my resources and ICT exam. Question 1. My technology enhanced assignment. I have used the curriculum of the region of Murcia to look at the goals and contents for the third course of primary education. The goals that my students have to achieve during this activity are these ones. The first one is develop habits of individual and teamwork, effort and responsibility in study, as well as attitudes of self-confidence. The second one is develop basic technological skills and learn how to use them. For learning, developing a critical spirit in relation to their functioning and the messages they receive and elaborate. Then, use different artistic representations and expressions and get started in the construction of visual and audiovisual proposals. And finally, to acquire at least one foreign language to be able to express and understand simple messages. This is my ACAD framework design, in which we can differentiate three essential parts. The first one is the set design, in which it appears the apps that my students are going to use to develop this activity. These tools are Google Classroom, YouTube, Google Docs, Mindmap, edusima.com, and Pixton. The second part is the epistemic design, in which it appears the tasks that we are going to develop in order to complete the activity. The tasks are watching an explanatory video of renewable and non-renewable energies, which is published in Classroom. Then making a concept map. After that, they will do an alphabet soup, and finally make a comic. Finally, social design is how we propose how people work together. In my activity, the students are going to work in small groups of 4. The topic of my activity is renewable and non-renewable resources. They will develop this activity in an hour-long class. First of all, students will have to open the YouTube link that I will provide them in Google Classroom. After watching the video, the members of the group will have to share a Google document with each other in order to put the most important information from the video. The next part of the activity will consist of using the MindMap application. First, they will have to register. Then, they will have to create a concept map putting the key ideas from the video based on the document they have created. The application is very intuitive and easy to use. Once the map is finished, they will have to paste the link in the shared drive. When entering the application, students will find this page. Here, they will have to scroll down until they reach the option to create a new map. Once inside, students will have the necessary tools to make the concept map. These tools are called nodes, and there are two types: insert child node and insert sibling node. In addition, different colors can be added to the circles to make it more visual. Once finished, the students have to click on the option file and download it as an image. Then they have to click on the export button. Once exported, they have to copy the image of the map and paste it into the document. Then the students will have to go to edusima.com, which is a very useful tool for creating alphabet soaps. Here, students will have to make an alphabet soap using concepts seen in the video. No registration is required on this app. As before, students will have to copy the link into the document. Here, students will have to click on the option Alphabet Soap Generator. Once inside, they will have to write the title Renewable and Non-Renewable. Then, they will have to click on the puzzle size box and set the size 7 by 7. Then, they will have to put a minimum of 7 words related to the topic of the video. Once they have finished, they must set the privacy to public and click on the Publish button. Once they have finished, they have to copy the link and paste it into the shared document. Finally, they will have to create a short comic book of about 10 and 15 vignettes using the Bigstone tool. It is a simple application to use. First, they have to select the background and introduce the characters, and then let their imagination run wild. The topic of the comic must be the same as the video, which is renewable and non-renewable resources. Once the comic is finished, students must paste it into the shared document. In the application, they will click on the Students option. Then, they have to scroll down until they reach the Trade Now option. Once inside, they have to click on the option Create New Comic. And then, they have to click on the Edit option. Here, they will see a large number of backgrounds that the student can choose depending on the background they prefer. Then they should click on the option Create a Character. Students can choose a great variety, like for example clothes, the gender, and the color of the character. Then, in the option Actions, they can choose the posture of the character, depending on what they want to do. In the option Faces, there is a wide variety of expressions to put on the characters. You can also move the characters around the vignettes. In the option Words, you can write dialogues in the form of text bubbles. Now, to create new vignettes, they have to click on the plus symbol. There is also the option to set the background to night or day. The ethical issues that my students may encounter while doing this activity in class is that they may not have the necessary devices to complete the activity. However, as it is a group activity, group members can share and help each other. Also, the problem that my students may have with the tool provided is that they may not know how to use them. However, this problem is easily solved because the students will be constantly supervised by me, so they can develop the activity correctly. The added value of using digital tools is the reinforcement of the contents studied in class, as well as learning new ways of using technology and discovering new tools that are going to be useful in the future. I will use an evaluation rubric to evaluate students objectively. This rubric will have three different criteria, which are divided in social relations, comprehension, and vocabulary. In the area of social relations, they will achieve the maximum mark if they collaborate with their partners and do the task correctly. In the comprehension area, the maximum mark will be achieved if they understand the content of the video and know how to put it into practice. Finally, they will get the highest score in the vocabulary area if they understand the vocabulary of the video and use it correctly. I'm going to do an average. To do this, I'm going to monitor the work and see the final product. And finally, I will give the grade taking into account all the criteria included in this rubric. You can pause the video to see the rubric better. My students' personal learning environment is being improved by this activity as they discover new tools that they wouldn't have used otherwise and are useful for their academic period. Moreover, this activity enhances creativity by opening the student's mind to other ways of doing activities. Question 3. My personal learning environment. The five most critical elements of this course that I'm going to include permanently in my personal learning environment contains four apps and one way of teaching, which are the following ones. The first app is Google Drive, because it is a great tool for working in groups with other people and to gather information efficiently. The second app is Canva, which is a very useful tool that I have used a lot for making presentations, posters, and so on, because it contains a great variety of templates and elements to develop creativity. The third app is ChatGPT, which is a very useful application for brainstorming to help you start it on your work, so I think it's an excellent application as long as it is used in the right way. The last app is Padlet, which I think is a very useful tool for collaborative work, which allows students to create collaborative murals, upload your work, tasks, and files for the elaboration of any project in an easy way. The final element is the methodology I would like to use in my work as a teacher. It is known as game-based learning, which consists of creating activities and games using the content explained in class to encourage creativity and interest in the subject. Question 4. Three more relevant areas of DigiCompedu. The three more relevant areas of DigiCompedu for me are professional engagement, digital resources, and empowering learners. The first area is called professional engagement. Educators' digital competence is expressed in their ability to use digital technologies not only to enhance teaching but also for their professional interaction with colleagues, learners, and parents, for their individual and professional development. This course I have used a wide variety of digital resources that can help me to improve my teaching practice. The second area is digital resources. Educators are currently confronted with a wealth of digital and educational resources that they can use for their teaching. One of the key competencies any educator needs to develop is to come into terms with this variety, to effectively identify resources that best fit the learning objectives, learner groups, and teaching style. This course have taught me to be attentive and respect the copyright rules and to take into account different resources to improve and do the task better. The last one I would like to comment on is the fifth area, called empowering learners. One of the key strengths of digital technologies in education is their potential for supporting learner-centered pedagogic strategies and boosting the active involvement of learners in the learning process. Thanks to this course, I have learned that digital technologies can furthermore contribute to supporting classroom differentiation and help teachers to personalize education by offering learning activities adapted to each individual learner's level of competence, interest, and learning needs. Question 5. My reflection of the course. Well, to be honest, I think the mark I earned is around a 7. I have tried to help my group as best as I could. There have been better and worse weeks in which I would have given more of myself. I think the star role is the most important one because the stars have to reflect the work done. To do this, they have to know the contents very well. For me, the most challenging role that I have performed is the analyst one. This is because you have to keep an eye on what your group mates are doing in order to give a fair mark. Also, you have to be objective, which can be difficult at times. Well, these have been my resources and ICT exam. I hope you like it and thank you for listening.